Today I have the pleasure of speaking with the chairman of WRES, Michael Masterman. Michael's going to be speaking with us this morning, give us an overview of WRES and its projects. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Great, Peter. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Now, Michael, what I want you to do, firstly, for those that are not aware of WRES and invariably of yourself, I know that you've got a fantastic history in the mining sector. So I just wanted you to give me a little bit of backstory regarding yourself and your time with Fortescue Metals as well, and then get into talking to me about WRES and the projects.
Okay. A quick thumbnail sketch. After university, I worked for McKinsey & Company for 8 years, worked very extensively in mining, banking and brewing. After McKinsey, I worked as CFO for Anaconda Nickel with Andrew Forrest. We financed the $1.2 billion Murrin nickel mine. That included the first ever US capital markets issue for a greenfields mining project, which is $420 million. Following Anaconda Nickel, I worked with Andrew Forrest in the setup of Fortescue Metals Group, and most recently I was based in Shanghai and ran the joint ventures with the Chinese and secured the $1.2 billion joint venture with Formosa Plastics to fully fund the development of the FMG Ironbridge North Star iron ore mine. I've been involved extensively in a range of resources projects and also oil and gas projects, 4 or 5 IPOs, and also the details of a lot of development and engineering projects.
Okay, let's move on to WRES then. Do you want to tell me about the projects they have and where things are in the scheme of things regarding 2016, 2017 going forward, please?
Okay. Well, WRES has got a great portfolio of projects. And it's a multi-project company. Our largest asset is La Perilla, which is a 50 million tonne tungsten and tin mine development in Spain, and I'll come back to that in a moment because that's probably the most dynamic and 2017 profit-generating project. In the north of Portugal, we have a very high-grade tungsten mine development, Regua. That is also advancing very quickly. And in south of that, we have Tarouca, which is another tungsten project. And in the heart of Portugal, actually very close to the La Perilla mine, we have some very, very good gold assets and have just added some very good copper assets.
Excellent. So the main project being the tungsten and tin project, the 50 million one at La Perilla. Do you want to go into more detail regarding that, please?
Okay. So La Perilla is a former tungsten mine. Through 2014 and 2015, we produced and sold tungsten to a number of major customers from the tailings operation. We switched focus to the mine development in 2015 and have been very successful with approvals and preparatory development work. We announced last week funding for the first stage or startup stage of the La Perilla mine, which will take us in the December quarter to 400 tonnes per annum of tungsten production capacity. And almost in parallel with that, we're moving forward to move that production rate up to 2,500 tonnes per annum of tungsten, with the capacity expected to be put in place by the middle of 2017.
Now, the project at Perilla is deemed to be a very low cost operation, and you're actually looking to reduce the cost even further regarding the progress you're making with a new crusher there.
Look, so La Perla is, I guess it's quite unique in the sense it's a very large tungsten deposit. The tungsten outcrops surface. Um, we have commenced mining. We've done a lot of very detailed cost work. The second reason it's low cost is because it's coarse grained with very simple gravity separation, which gives it, so we have a low mining cost and a low processing cost. We're looking over the first 5 years at less than $100 per MTU in terms of operating costs, which is highly competitive among the global tungsten industry.
Okay. So, Michael, have you got agreements in place regarding clients, customers who are already off taking this? You said in
Well, historically, we've sold to the major European and Israeli customers, and we've also recently signed an offtake agreement in which the funds are advanced from ICD Alloys for supply to one of the largest US customers.
Okay, so if we were looking at the tungsten prices today, having moved where they've moved over the last 5 years, are you and the industry peers considering tungsten to be at the having based in the cycle and on its way back up? Is that your
Uh,
thinking?
Look, tungsten's had a low through 2015.
Yeah,
It's recovered solidly through the beginning of 2016,
indeed.
and everything we're seeing says that will continue. I think through 2016, 2017, it'll probably move up to around about $250 per MTU, which is a fairly solid price and a price that we make very good profits. But I think it'll be 3 or 4 years before it gets up to its average price levels
Okie
of
dokie.
around $300 per MTU.
Okie dokie, Michael. So would you want to tell me about the other project then, the CAA Port Allegra project?
So the Port Allegra
The copper gold one,
license,
yeah,
yeah,
license.
the Port Allegra license is focused at the moment predominantly on gold. We announced a JORC resource of 110,000 ounces at São Martinho, which is a new and very exciting gold discovery development. We'll do some drilling there and expect to very significantly increase the size of that resource. In Tanoka, we recently added a new very large 500 square kilometre license, which contains two former copper mines.
Yeah.
And while it's early days there, we're very confident we can move both of those the areas around those two former copper mines forward very quickly. So that gives us a portfolio of two tungsten mine developments, very exciting tungsten exploration property in Taroka, a license that contains two former copper mines, and very exciting gold license in Port Allegra.
Excellent. Now the regular projects.
So Regua's in northern Portugal.
Yeah.
It's a materially higher grade project than La Perla. We've done some very good design development work on that project, which we'll update the market on in about a month. But it's got like La Perla, it's got very low operating costs, and we're seeing a very lean and effective capital development coming up.
Excellent. Now, Michael, I wanted to touch a little bit on the team that you've got in place and some of the individuals that have got quite a significant industry background.
So one of the key people is Fernando Lafluente. He's our country manager. He worked extensively for Phelps Dodge, Anglo American, and in particular, he worked for Rio Tinto, the global mining company, when Rio Tinto had an option over the development of the La Perla mine. So he was there when La Perla was operating. He had full access to all the technical information, and that historic and continuing knowledge of the economics and the potential of La Perilla is very, very important for access. He's also, world-class geologist, so that an operational geologist. So that gives us great skill there. Got a very good ex-FMG development manager, Aaron Zumalak. He's got the skills and the metallurgy to bed down and ensure we're successful in the plant and development side of things, and everything's running well there. And then we've got a wider mining engineering and development team that's frankly got an exceptionally good track record of getting things done. We run a lean team, and all of the people in the team are very effective at what they do.
Excellent, excellent. Now, just to round up, Michael, regarding all the different things you've got going on now with W Resources, there's a lot of projects you've got in hand there, and obviously looking at 2016, 2017 regarding shareholders. I wanted to ask you really, what's going to be the next couple of triggers regarding the movement of W Resources in a sense of the work that you're doing now, and what shareholders can expect over the next 6 to 9 months?
Well, we're looking at production from La Perilla in the December quarter, and a lot of progress leading up to that. We, in parallel, expect to be deliver the financing for the following expansion of the mine, which will get us on track for a very significant increase in production mid-2017. We've got the regular development going through both development finalisation and financing. There's a lot of upside on our gold assets and our copper assets.
Okay, so regarding the Perilla project, Michael, are you talking production there regarding tungsten concentrate?
So La Perilla will start tungsten concentrate production in the December quarter.
Yeah, and have you got any estimates at the moment as to what the costs are going to be and what your margins potentially could be come December, January of next year?
Look, in the first couple of months of a startup of a mine, it takes a while for all the economics to settle down.
Yeah.
We certainly expect a margin, but I think the significant reduction in costs and the significant increase in profitability will come through the back end of 2017 as the larger mine comes into production.
Okie dokie. Now, as you say, it's a very large project. It's going to put you guys on the map in a sense of taking you up to some of your larger peers in the scale of things. Are there any key risks that you guys could foresee, and how do you plan to overcome some of these?
Well, I think in what's been a volatile price environment, it's important that we're very competitive and have very low costs. So there's a lot of focus on that. It's also important that we just design things, procure equipment from reliable suppliers, hold their feet to the fire in terms of the quality of execution and quality control and installation that they deliver. So there's a number of very important aspects, and a lot of them are in the details, that it's very important to be on top of over the next 9 months through the build phase of the startup phase and the substantial expansion phase of La Perilla.
Excellent, excellent. So with regarding that then, things are going to be moving on come December. You're going to produce and concentrate. You're going to be making some margins on that. Is yourself and the team confident that going forward 2017, you've got the income and the revenues coming in, and therefore there's no need for replacing in 2017? You're quite happy with that?
Look, we've got lots of opportunities, and I think we'll look to the most sensible financing to drive that growth.
Okie dokie. Now, Michael, I've covered all the points, and we've covered all the projects. Obviously, La Perilla is the most exciting phase, going through its most exciting phase right now. Is there anything you want to round off with regards to encapsulating why shareholders going forward should be very excited about W Resources, in a sense of it's only just beginning, the story's just beginning for them?
Well, look, I think it's rare to have the opportunity to invest in a company that is very advanced in terms of development and is a short distance from production at significant scale. The capital costs of our projects are very low compared to our peers. The operating costs are highly competitive. And there are very few companies that you can invest in that have 2 tungsten mines under development and some very advanced exploration, gold and copper assets under the belt. Each of these individual assets would support a listed company, and we've got 4 or 5 of them in the portfolio.
Yeah.
You'll see growth and substantial expansion in all of them, and we will make sure that value gets through to shareholders.
Yeah. Okay. You've covered that. Thank you ever so much, Michael. I wanted to add as well that it's rare to have the mines that you have in Europe, and just a sideline conversation really as to how the change of UK Brexit stuff has or has not affected and the benefits of being in Europe for you rather than being in Australia or being in South America.
Oh, look, Europe has exceptionally good infrastructure. You can drive from the 4-lane highway from Seville to Madrid, and our mine is 5 minutes drive from a 4-lane superhighway. So there's just exceptional infrastructure, and I think both ourselves, Berkeley, and a number of other projects in Spain get enormous uplift from being in European Spain with the kind of infrastructure that's in place. Brexit hasn't affected us at all. We basically sell to European customers and to American customers, and if anything, the lower euros made our projects more and more competitive.
Excellent closing point there, Michael. Thank you very much. Now, Michael, I've concluded all my questions. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I think it's we should put the company in context. I mean, we're looking down the barrel in 3 or 4 years at getting to around 40 to 50 million euros in EBITDA or cash flow, and that's a very significant earnings base for a mid-tier mining company. I think if shareholders focus on the fundamentals of the company, but also where we can get to from a financial standing, I think we'll see very strong support and very strong growth in the company and the company's returns to shareholders over the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I'm looking at your resources here and looking at Regua and Perilla, and looking at the fact you might be looking at a total of 90 million tons. That would confirm that, wouldn't it?
The key for shareholders is to translate that into very significant earnings.
Exactly. Michael, I've concluded. That was a chairman of W Resources, ticker symbol WRES on AIM. Michael, thank you ever so much, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Okay, look forward to it.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Bye for now.